ready? Not a whole lot to say. I think you guys watched the same game I did. It was very, very much the way that we told our players it was going to be. Coach Brown gave me some sage advice on Monday. We talked every week, early in the week, and he said, make sure you tell your team that the Kansas State team that you see on video is not going to be the same Kansas State team you see in Bill Snyder Family Stadium on Saturday afternoon, that you're going to get a more aggressive, a more cohesive, a more physical outfit. He was exactly right. We told our guys that, and they were ready for that. And so there's not a coach in this profession that I have more respect for than Bill Snyder. I think he's kind of the gold standard of what we all strive for our programs to be, which is tough, physical, great tacklers, they're great technicians in everything that they do, and you can tell that they play for each other. So that was a really good football team that gave us their best shot. Obviously, we got a lot to clean up, but to be able to do something in Manhattan, Kansas that a Texas team hasn't done in 16 years still should be celebrated. And to end the game the way that we did when things were looking fairly bleak there for most of the second half, for the defense to get the offense the ball back up by 5, and then I believe for the 4th straight week, our offense getting a few first downs and ended up taking a knee against that defense. That's pretty tough to do. And again, there wasn't an opponent on our schedule last year that I think that we would have been able to do that. I think we took another step. Obviously, we didn't win the turnover battle. I think we're both 0 for 0, but we got a special team score. We got a defensive score. But obviously, what did we lose? The penalty, 11-0, 10-0. Yeah. So we got to do a better job initiating contact on offense to draw the same kind of pass interference calls that teams were getting against us. So I've got to do a better job teaching that on how to draw flags because teams are getting really, really good at it. So we're going to have to do that. But you're not going to be, to come into Manhattan, Kansas, to lose the penalty battle, if you will, 11-0, to tie the turnover battle and still win the game in Manhattan against Kansas State and a Bill Snyder coach team. I think you can say that we took another step. And the really good thing is there's going to be a lot to teach off of, a lot that we've got to get better at. And we're excited to get back to work tomorrow.
Tom, the last 9:55, your last 2 offensive drives, you leaned almost exclusively on Keontae, and you've rotated backs, you've rotated receivers, but Keontae and Colin are your 2 money guys down the stretch. Was that by design?
Well, Colin's going to play. Colin, again, I don't get to call the coverages. You make your best educated guess as to what coverage you anticipate based on your scouting report. Mm-hmm. We certainly were trying to get Colin the ball on 3rd down. And then, we felt like Keontae was running well. He was breaking tackles. He's got a lot to clean up too in terms of knowing when the fight's over and when to just dive forward and not get tackled going straight up or go sideways. And so he's got a lot of work to do. But we felt like he was seeing the game and making the extra guy miss because when you're in those situations and everybody in the stadium knows you got to run the football, there's going to be extra guys. And felt like he was our best opportunity to make that guy miss.
What were some of the things the defense was slow to adjust to after they made the quarterback change?
What were some of the what?
The things that defense appeared to be slow to adjust to after the quarterback change after halftime.
I don't think it wasn't a slowness of adjustment. It was the kid was playing really good. The quarterback was, we had guys in position, and he, I remember one out route that PJ had. He was right on the guy's hip, but he put it on the perfect shoulder. He eluded pressure well, so I don't think it was any slowness to adjustment. I think their quarterback played really, really well.
you. Can you give us a update on Sinbeck and how he's doing first?
Yeah, I think he's doing really well. I don't know, I think it's okay to kind of tell everybody what was going on. He had a bacterial infection in his elbow that, I mean, it's a good lesson to all of our coaches that, you know, he tried to tough out for a week or so, and it kept getting worse, and so much so that he started developing fever on Wednesday, and they took him to the hospital Wednesday after practice, and that infection had gotten into what I believe like the bursa and inside the actual elbow itself, and so we had to have, obviously he had to be in the hospital and IV type antibiotics, as well as he had to have surgery yesterday to go in and, or Thursday, I think it was Thursday evening, had surgery to go in and clean all of that infected area out. So, again, not life-threatening as of now. The doctors did a good job, but again, I told our coaches that's a lesson. You got one of those nagging deals you're going to get looked at, because I'm sure he wished he would have. But we're happy that he did get it looked at, and wish him and Tamara thoughts and prayers, but I expect to have him back the next game.
My second one, Coach, when you inherit a program that has struggled so much prior to you getting here, and you had to do all the building blocks last year, it's easy to nitpick a win, but do you have to say, you know what, a win's a win, sitting at 4-1, it's better than any alternatives, and you just kind of have to appreciate the moment?
Yeah, they don't, at the end of the season, when you look at our record, you're not going to see half of a W in the win column for this. You're going to see a full W, and it's going to count just like this. It's going to count exactly the same as beating USC by whatever we beat them, and TCU by whatever we beat them. They all count the same. And we told our guys that championships are won on the road, and I think this is historically a ridiculously tough environment to play in for a lot of different reasons. Usually it's because Coach Snyder has his team really well coached, and their fans show up regardless of the record, and they make it very hostile. So yes, we're going to enjoy this one. We got a lot to learn, but to again take another step, which was finishing and winning a road game in such a hostile environment, I think was an important step.
Tom,
How much did your role change, if any, with Tim not available?
Not a whole lot. You know, I think just not a whole lot. I'm trying to really think. You know, a lot of guys with a lot of good ideas. A lot, you know, the special play that, you know, the throwback to Sam, which set us up, I believe, for our first touchdown. You know, one of our guys said, "Hey, it's time for this," and so I think our guys did a really good job rallying together and you know, pumping out some good ideas. We had some good ideas in the run game there late too, that proved to be very helpful.
Tom, you guys are not an undisciplined team by any stretch, but to see that many penalties, it's almost like y'all couldn't get out of your own way a little bit out there. I mean, what were you thinking? Some of this stuff that was going on.
Yeah, we obviously got to play the ball better. We have 4 pass interference calls, or 5 maybe even, something like that. So we got to coach our guys how to play the ball better. We really do, and what that means. And I've got to get a good explanation from our new head of officials on exactly what we can and can't do. But you know, again, most of these penalties are aggressive penalties. I don't think we had one false start, which was you know, a freshman tailback that got antsy.
And just one offsides, but other than that, they're the
one
aggressive side.
offsides. You know, so procedurally, I thought we were good. It's the in play penalties that, you know, we've got to do a better job coaching great technique and you know, making sure at least that we're coaching. Again, we got to coach our receivers better too, because we got to be able to draw some of those flags as well.
But that being said, though, you've said before y'all can't play a C+ game and win. I mean, that kind of was a textbook C+ type of game, and you did win in a big place here. Does that say something about where y'all are headed?
Yeah, it probably does. take nothing away from Coach Snyder and the job that his team did. But we won ugly, I guess is a better way to put it.
Yeah.
But the key word there is won. And you know, they're all going to look pretty on Sunday morning when you wake up, and you know, they're going to look pretty on the flight home. Like we said before, the flight is shorter, the food tastes better, you get better sleep, you sleep in a little later when you win. And again, we did not play our best. We didn't, but we found a way to do so in critical times, which I think was important.
Tom, you said earlier this week you weren't worried about Brecken because we've been asking about the production, and T.O. said it's going to come at some point. What were your thoughts on what he gave you specifically in the second half with the sacks and the big batted pass at the end?
Yeah, he had a batted pass. I think he was the one that caused the safety, right? I think he had a sack. I thought him and Charles both had a really good game. You know, and again, there's usually not every player on defense can be the defensive player of the game, and not every player on offense can be the offensive player of the game. You know, if there's a reason why, you know, Gary Johnson 2 weeks ago was the conference player of the game. Is Gary Johnson a good player? Heck yeah, he is. But the guys up front were taking up a lot of blocks too, a lot of blocks. And you know, Anthony Wheeler had a great game against TCU, great game, because the guys in front of him were taking up blocks. And so when offenses decide to focus their attention on different guys, then the next guy that's getting maybe less attention, I know that sounds overly simplistic, but then that guy is expected to make a bunch of plays, and I think that's what Brecken did today.
Tom, did you talk a little bit about Deshaun's punt return, and then after that, why did you guys decide to go with Brandon on returns?
Brandon's our punt safe guy, and so with the lead and field position, we were forced to be in punt safe the rest of the way, to rule out any threat of a fake, and to make sure that we've got a veteran back there making good decisions inside the 10-yard line. Wish we weren't. I wish we'd have gotten a 3 and out or 2 that we could have put our punt return unit back out there. But yeah, Deshaun did a great job making a couple guys miss, but I saw a bunch of really good blocks. I know Josh Thompson's, Deshaun Jameson's really fast, and Josh Thompson, sucked him up and then got in front of him and threw a key block there. And I thought the rest of our guys, we challenged that unit, and we didn't think that we were playing real well through the first part of the season, and we challenged them, and they responded.
Tom,
Got time for 2 last ones, guys?
Preseason and off-season, you talk a lot about, finish, and over the last 4 weeks, y'all have done that. Is that just the biggest difference for you looking from last year to this year? That this team is going out and, has like a week that it can put together these, clock eating drives of 4 or 5 minutes in the fourth quarter?
Yes, it is one of, if not the biggest differences, that this team this team knows that they can finish. One, because they know how they're trained and how they do train, but they also know now because they validated it week after week after week, and that's a very good feeling to have, to know that, again, if you play your best, you're going to be able to finish this game out and not have to worry about anything else. And we have proven against some really good football teams that we're able to do that.
If I'm looking at the
Last
film,
one, guys.
if I'm looking at the film, yet your evaluation of Sam today, it's not good.
I thought he took the underneath stuff very well and very accurately. I thought the deep shots early and missing on those, a couple of them to Duvernay, that I take a little bit of the blame because we were playing really, really good defense early, and so I probably should have gone back to calling more of those to tell them, hey man, you're good, we're going to keep calling these plays. But then when I didn't, and we started kind of dinking and dunking them and relying on the run game here and there, then the couple times then in the second half when I did, I thought he was a bit hesitant But he didn't turn the ball over, his completion percentage was really high. We gotta do, he made some big time plays on third down, threw for a touchdown. I think, other than I got that feeling in the middle of the game that we got a little, and I take a lot of the blame, that we got a little bit tentative on some of the deep balls, but, he made some big time throws, at opportune times, and, he got the ball to our playmakers, especially, I think he developed today. There were 2 or 3 plays on third down where he checked the ball down either to the running back or a drag route or whatever, and let his playmakers go make plays. We're gonna cover everything deep, check the ball down, let your guys make plays, and that was something we've been preaching for a while, and I thought he took a step in that area too.